Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vaishnavi, you can start the pranam mantra.
Yes, Mataji, I will. The another Vaishnavi is not there.
Yeah, she didn't join. No issue, you can start.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Thapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kadamayyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatadishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, are you back from Vrindavan?
Yes, yesterday only I'm back from Vrindavan.
Okay.
Mataji, how are you feeling? Are you feeling tired?
I got a fracture on my left foot.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Okay.
What?
Fourth toe. Somebody stamped on my feet, you know.
Oh man. Are you okay now? Are you clear?
It's okay. It's okay. So tomorrow I'll go to hospital. Anyhow, I have to report to my work now. Tomorrow I'll go and I will get an X-ray done. I'll apply leave.
Okay.
Mataji, I wanted to tell one thing.
Yes.
Everyone, please keep the poster on your status for the Ekadashi chanting so that other people come to know about it in your friend circles. I've sent it on the group.
Okay, Mataji.
And Vaishnavi, just check with other people now. Why are they not joining the class?
Mataji, few people said they are continuing with level 2 and like Jignasa Mataji, she said she won't be able to continue with level 3 because of her college work.
Okay.
So she would be coming tomorrow for the Ekadashi chanting, but I guess she won't be able to continue with her level 3.
I think our Deepak was there.
Yeah, even he is not able to come, Mataji, because of his college, I guess.
Okay. That's what. Hope everybody is safe and fine. I just wanted to give a call to all of them, but I'm not finding time. Can somebody please find out the whereabouts of all these people?
Yes, Mataji.
At least a group message will suffice, I think.
Because few people just exited the group, right? So we don't know.
Mataji,
Like Jignasa Mataji got exited the group.
Who?
Jignasa Mataji.
Okay.
So I just messaged her while I was just confirming about the chapter she was chanting this Ekadashi. So she said because of her college work, she won't be able to continue with the class.
Okay, no, she told me actually. She messaged me personally.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah, Deepak Prabhu is there and few more devotees were there. No, Prasid, he is now joining. And our...
he used to join Mataji in the beginning.
Yeah.
Not beginning also, Mataji. Recently, the PPT also he did it.
He did the PPT.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Just I think tomorrow everybody will join, no? Just confirm once.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah,
I'll just send a message on the group.
yeah, please ask them to send the confirmation. Okay. Chalo, we'll
Yeah,
start.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just send a message right now.
Somebody can start. Sai Gitika, come on, start.
Okay, Mataji. दृष्टय स्वभावजानातिर्वपुषाश्चादोषैर्न प्रकृतत्वम् इह भक्तजानस्य पश्यत् गंगां वशं न खलु बुद्धाधवेन पानकैः ब्रह्मद्रावतम् अपगच्छति निरधर्मै. Am I correct, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay. Translation. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfection may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like water of the Ganges, which sometimes during rainy season is full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bath in Ganges without considering the condition of water. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Should I continue, Mataji?
Yes.
Purport. Shuddha Bhakti, the activity of the soul proper. In other words, engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in the liberated condition. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 26, it is stated, Mamachayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samati tyayantan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Abhya, 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 Avyabhicharini bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. In this Krishna consciousness movement, one's consciousness must be changed. If consciousness is aimed towards material enjoyment, it is material consciousness, and if it is aimed towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material consideration. Anya, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Jnanam Karmadi Anavart Anavritam, unalloyed, devotional service which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind, such as jnana, mental speculation, and karma, fruitive work, is called pure bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the proper activity of the soul, and when one actually engages in unalloyed, uncontaminated devotional service, he is already liberated. Sagunan Samitityan. Krishna's devotees, Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material conditions, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees. Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and a non-devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. A Madhyama Adhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and the non-devotee, as well as between the devotee and the Lord. Thus, he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee, and the non-devotee in different ways. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, verse 30, Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak sadhur eva sa mantavyah samyag vyavasito shisah. Even if a devotee sometimes seems to engage in abominable activities, he should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person, because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being. Even though a pure devotee may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, he is engaged in the service of the Lord. He should not be neglected. In actuality, cannot be a family of Goswamis based on material consideration, caste, or heredity. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotees. Thus, we speak of the six Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had practically become Mohammedans and had therefore changed their names to Debir Khasa and Sakara Malik. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis. Therefore, the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami means the one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the controller of the senses. Consequently, he should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in a Goswami family.
Yes, you can
According,
yeah, you can explain.
yes, Mataji. Okay. So the first term here comes is Shuddha Bhakti, which is the activity of soul proper, and it means that the engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which is performed in the liberated condition. So even in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one who is one who engages in full devotion, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the moods of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So it means that the word the person is Drid Nishchay and he has a firm faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why he has unalloyed devotion, which is the term Avyabhicharini Bhakti. So a person who is engaged in devotional service without any material motive is in actual Krishna consciousness. Because the Krishna consciousness, the consciousness which has a material enjoyment aim is called a material consciousness. Surrendered soul would surrendered soul to that serves Krishna will never ever think of the material consideration, which is called Anyabhilashit Sunyam, as well as Jnana Karmadhi Anavritam means unalloyed devotional service, which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind, such as Jnana and Karma, which means mental speculation and fruitive activities, is called pure Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is the only proper activities which can be done by a liberated soul. That means he is engaged in unalloyed and uncontaminated devotional services and is already liberated. Sa gunan samatai samiti
Samati
taita.
Taitam.
Yeah. So Krishna's devotees are never subjected to material conditions, even though their bodily features look like material. And we should never see a pure devotee with the materialistic point of view. And unless someone is a pure devotee, he cannot distinguish between a devotee and a non-devotee. So as we read yesterday, there are three types of devotees: Kanishthadhikari, Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari, from which the Kanishthadhikari is the one who cannot distinguish between a devotee and non-devotee because he is just a beginner, a neophyte, and he is simply concerned with the deity worship in the temple. Whereas the Madhyama is one who can distinguish between a devotee, a non-devotee, as well as the Lord. So he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee and non-devotee, with different ways. And it's strongly recommended here that we should never criticize the defects, bodily defects of a pure devotee, and it should be overlooked. And the only thing, main business of a spiritual master is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 30, that even if a devotee engages in some abominable activity, he should be considered a sadhu, because his actual identity is that one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. So in this paragraph, it is said that the pure devotee who may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family should still be called a Goswami if he has controlled his senses and is unalloyed, uncontaminatedly devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here it is said that Goswami is not a material consideration, caste or heredity. And here we talk about the 6 Goswamis, which were headed by Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. And they practically became Mohammedans and changed their name to Dabir Khasa and Shakar Malik. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis because they controlled their senses, and consequently he should be called Swami or Goswami even though he may not born in the family of Goswami.
So basically, this text explains about the quality of a devotee. You know, 3 types of devotee: the Kanishta, Madhyama, and the Uttamadhikari devotees are there. No matter the color, caste, creed, whatever it may be, but any point of time, they should be taken into consideration based on the Krishna conscious activity they are doing, isn't it? So we are not concerned about the other thing. That's what we have to focus on. Kanishta Adhikari, who is mostly engaged in worshiping of the deity form, and Madhyam Adhikari, yes, he can distinguish little bit between the pure devotee and a not pure devotee, and Uttam Adhikari, as he knows very well. Okay, and who are all Goswamis? Goswami is not something like a surname which is running in generations. The people who can control the senses are called as a Swami or a Goswami. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had a doubt regarding these 3 types of devotees. When a devotee wears a kanti mala, so what does one kanti mala state?
Actually, anybody who are beginners, they can wear the single line of tulsi mala. Okay, and they can wear double also, following their not eating any onion, garlic, non-vegetarian food, alcohol, and all those things, and following the 4 regulative principles.
And actually, and if there are 3 or more kanti malas, so what does it? Does that mean are they increasing the rounds?
Nothing like that. Nothing to do. It's a personal thing. Nothing to do with that.
As in?
Yes. No, it is totally personal interest. Ideally, initiated devotees wear 3 rounds of Kantimala. Okay. But non-initiated one, they can wear 1 or 2 rounds.
Okay.
2 rounds, especially for the people who are following 4 regulative principles.
Okay.
Hare you can continue, Racheta, now.
Okay. I'll start with this paragraph. On the other hand, this one.
Yes, according to this formula.
Okay. According to this formula, the Goswamis who are descendants of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu are certainly devotees, but devotees coming from other families should not be discriminated against. Indeed, whether devotees come from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami and discriminate against him. Nor should one think here is a Nityananda Vamsa Goswami. There is an undercurrent of protest against awarding the title Goswami to the American Vaishnavas of the Krishna conscious movement. Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotees that the sannyasa or title of Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to the statements of Srila Rupa Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and a Goswami in a family of acharyas are non-different. So in this paragraph, it's saying that we cannot randomly use the term Goswami to any and everybody just because they're wearing the Kantimala and the Tulsi Tilak.
No,
Chandan.
no, 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 not that. We mean to say we can't categorize them as per the region they belong to, like American Goswami
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like Nityananda Goswami. Goswamis are
Oh,
the one who have control over the senses.
okay,
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 okay.
okay.
So, but we
Should I-
can't categorize them based on the geographical location.
Okay, it can be from any part of the world. Just
They are
that they're
Goswamis.
following the four regulative principles seriously. Okay, my bad. Could I read the next paragraph?
Yes.
On the other hand, a devotee who has
Sorry,
attained.
Mataji, just a minute. Yeah. Mataji, right now I received a call from Sapna Mataji. She
Mm-hmm.
would be joining the class from next week because she is right now outside because of some emergency.
No issue, no issue,
Yeah, Mataji.
no issue.
And by mistake, she joined the Ekadashi chanting today.
No, no, tomorrow, no, we have.
Yeah. I just told her that it's tomorrow.
Okay, fine. Hare Krishna. Come on, continue, Rachita.
Okay, Hare Krishna. On the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami but not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. The special conscious movement is a transcendental science and there is no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for the Paramhansas who are completely free from all jealousy. Paramam Nirmat Sharanam. Paramam Nirmat Sharanam. One should not be jealous whether he is born in a family of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls down from the platform of Paramhansa. So in this paragraph, they are saying that a Paramahansa is the one who is not puffed up or jealous of anybody. He should be humble. He should be humble as a devotee of the Lord. That is the main characteristics of a Vaishnava. So the Goswami, as we have seen in the previous paragraph, cannot be used randomly. It is rarely awarded to the person. A Goswami is a person who has total control over the senses. Okay. Mother, should I read the next paragraph?
We'll ask somebody to read.
Okay, no problem. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aman, I think you can read this one.
Yes, Mataji. If we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. An offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hatimata, the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trimmed garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from a superior Vaishnava and a and a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is superior or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. One is forbidden to observe the activities of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For the neophyte, especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view, and thus one can gradually become a purified devotee himself.
Yes, please explain.
Uh, we should not consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava as it is a very serious offense. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also described this offense as Hati Mata. And every devotee should be ready to take instructions from a superior Vaishnava, and a superior Vaishnava should be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. And we should look at every devotee in the spiritual point of view and not the material point of view. And by doing this, we can become a purified devotee ourselves.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Next, if somebody can read. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Who haven't read till now? All are.
I don't know, Mataji. There is a participant whose name is Dot.
Okay, let it be. Come on, continue, Vaishnav.
Yeah. Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotees, or a certain tract of land are generally prone to see that external features of, of the devotee. Such neophytes, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee, try to bring the Mahabhagavata to their platform. We experience such difficulties in propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform, and they try to criticize us in every respect. We very much regret their naive activities and poor fund of knowledge. An empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense, Vaishnava Aparadha, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action. It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him. One can distinguish between a neophyte Vaishnava and an advanced Vaishnava by their activities. The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master, and the neophyte is always considered as his disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to the advice of a disciple, nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instructions from those who are not his disciples. This is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami's advice in the sixth verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, you can conclude by saying the summary.
Yes, Mataji. So here they say Krishna consciousness is not limited. Right now is limited to certain section or certain section of devotees or a tract of land, because the people with poor fund of knowledge and who have naive activities do not respect the Vaishnavas and do not take their advice to advance in their spiritual life, and they don't want to come under the Krishna consciousness movement, though people are trying to spread it all over the world, because, as said, the poor fund of knowledge. Yeah, that's it, Mataji. Yeah, in this paragraph. And in the next paragraph, it is said, whenever we criticize a pure devotee, it's called an offense, which is called Vaishnava Aparadha, which can be obstructive and dangerous for those who want to advance consciousness or in their spiritual life. So, if we offend the lotus feet of any Vaishnava, we cannot derive any spiritual benefit. And everyone must be careful that we should not be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider a Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action. And we should never advise him or try to correct him, because he is a spiritual master. And this is one point which distinguishes a neophyte devotee and an advanced devotee, because advanced devotee is always situated as a spiritual master, whereas the neophyte devotee is always his disciple. And in a teacher or and disciple relationship, the spiritual master is never obliged to take an instruction or an advice from his disciple. So, in short, this is the advice given by Srila Rupa Goswami in the 6th verse.
Yes. This verse actually says, being situated in original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. So we should outlook the caste, color, creed, geographical distribution, all these things, which are important materialistic point of view. So pure devotee is not interested in materialistic world, and he should overlook all such things. The only thing which he is interested is that unalloyed devotion towards the Lord, at the same time associated with the devotee association who are on the same platform. If he is able to identify devotees, say suppose neophyte devotees, that is the Kanishta Adhikari who is interested only in a deity worship, whereas a Madhyama Adhikari who has a staunch faith in the Lord, and the Uttamadhikari, as you know, this is similar to the what we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, that is what was that? I forgot that word. Brahman stage, Paramatma, and Bhagwan stage. Okay, so similar to that. And at the same time, people who have a limited knowledge, say suppose the neophyte devotees, sometimes they may try to criticize the pure devotee or a Uttamadhikari. That means sometimes the spiritual master. So their work, see, this criticizing and differentiating and getting attached to the material things is not the characteristic of a Krishna conscious devotee. So that sort of a thing should be gone from the mind. At the same time, a person being in a Krishna consciousness should try to have a control over his senses and try to become a Goswami. So that is how he can reach to the Goloka. So the ultimate aim is to reach the Goloka. So all these things he has to wash off from his brain, and he should continue to follow the regulative principles and do the japa, and try to practice 9 types of a bhakti which is prescribed for him. That is how they progress in the bhakti. So because even criticizing the pure Vaishnava is said to be an offense. Okay, and that's what is been explained. Analogy here is given that of a Ganges river. When we are taking a dip in the Ganges water, we don't identify it by any sort of a bubbles of foam or a mud or something like that. We just take a dip by thinking it is of spiritual significance. Similarly, Krishna consciousness, when we are there, we should get overcome by all these things which are there, like material things and all. We should overcome that, and we should practice the regulative principles to increase our sadhana. Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, can you please tell me who are all there for tomorrow's list?
Yes, Mataji. I'll just screen share.
Yeah, you can do that. I'll stop the screen share. So Aman is reciting this time 10 and 14 chapters.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Sapna is 16 and 17. Very happy. People are taking up to 2 chapters. Aman, you recited very well last time.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. But see that all of you are wearing the Vaishnava attire. I don't want you people to be in the t-shirts and not wearing Vaishnava tilaka. Please get some Vaishnava tilaka from somewhere. Try to have that Ekadashi look, you know. I think any more doubts or anything? NOI is good, no? Very nice. Short and sweet.
Yes,
Every time we are reading, it's like a nectar.
Mataji, could you explain the meaning of Parabrahman again? Just in short.
Parabrahman is the people, you know, who have a very staunch faith. Yeah. They are free from all jealousy, you know. Paramam Nimatsaranam. Okay. And one who is not jealous, whether he's born in a family of Goswami or a title of Goswami awarded to him. Okay.
Okay, so he's a second level, the Madhyatmic devotee, right?
He is actually, you know, Madhyama to Uttama Adhikari a devotee, and these sort of people will not fall down if they get puffed up. Not only them, any one of us, if we are what do you say, puffed up when somebody praises us, or we get down when somebody is not acknowledging, then you're not said to be in as per Bhagavad Gita. You know, a person should be equipoised in both distress as well as a happy situation, isn't it?
Yes,
So that is
Mataji.
applied to a pure devotee.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I suddenly got disconnected, so can you make me the co-host again?
Okay. Shall we invite, what do you say,